I am Tracy.
There we go. I'll just do a quick little
go.
housekeeping. Thank you so much for coming,
Yep,
Tracy,
sure.
to do this wonderful presentation. Tracy is the Employer Relations and Marketing for Yes Employment Services. And she will be giving us the wonderful presentation today on writing your job ad. Just some housekeeping. We do ask that you do keep yourself muted during the presentation. You're more than welcome to unmute yourself during the question period. If you do not feel comfortable unmuting yourself, feel free to put it in the chat and I will relay it to Tracy. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So, as Kylie said, I am the Employer Relations Marketing Coordinator for Yes Employment. And I was just saying how this kind of came about as I work with youth. And they don't have a clue sometimes of how to even go about getting a job, how to look for a job, knowing their worth and everything. So I really found it helpful to create something like this so that we can pass it on to whoever needs it, so that it gives them a little bit of help and a little bit more confidence to find a job. So it's not so much writing it, but you can keep this as the slides as a guideline to give if you have other clients or even family friends that are looking for it. I think it's just a really good first option as when people are starting to get out there and look for jobs. So I can tend to talk, so I apologize for that because I kind of get right into this. If you have any questions, just please let myself or Kylie know in between. I can try to answer as many questions as you want, or at the end we can have a question and answer period. So the learning goals here is identify and reflect on the values of your own personal values, and identify and apply your skills and market yourself to employers. So today we're going to do an introduction. What is a placement? Placement can be just even like for, you can relate it to if you're not even going on placement, if you're just trying to get a job. Timeline, your values, skills, goals, and job placements. So we are a unit at Yes Employment Services that collaboratively work with our youth workers and career development practitioners with their clients to find their clients some employers to job match to get a perfect match for a job, and for them to keep it full-time way longer than our placement or their time that they use with us at Yes. We outreach to employers to identify positions available for work or placement. And now, right now, because everything is just starting to open up again, it's been crazy the amount of people, as everyone knows with COVID, that people are looking for employees all around. And so there's lots of jobs out there, and it's just about trying to find a good match, and we can help you with resumes and that to do that. We will look through your job placement planning exercise to identify potential employers that will suit your values, skills, and goals. That's kind of what we do. So basically we deal with placements, and a placement is an opportunity for you to gain valuable job experience that helps build and develop your skill set. Provides real world and hands-on experience that employees look for, provides a networking opportunity, and provides reference opportunity. So we can be your first stop, or your first start, I should say, in getting a job. We can help with resumes, building a resume, and even if you don't have any experience, like I was saying to before, if you don't have any experience, even that's why we're here, so that you can come to us and we can help you build a resume. Just even on volunteer work or things, if you have no job experience, things that you've done on your own or in your own time, because you don't realize the skills and the values and everything that you can put down to build that up. And it's just a start to get you in the door, and that's what placements help with. So if you do have anybody that is looking to learn a little bit more about service excellence and everything, they can always call us. If they're youth from 16 to 29, they can call us and try to get into our workshops They are paid workshops, and then we can get a placement for them. And it just gives them some help with different workshops that they can get for resume building, service excellence, and a lot of other really helpful things that they would need in the future. So real world and hands-on experience, this is very important. And I do another workshop if people are interested in it towards the end of our workshops are 3 weeks. That's called Entering the Workforce. And it's just kind of a guideline of everything that you need, from clothing to what you need for the first day, youth. And there are certain people that if they haven't really worked before, they don't even understand about pay stubs and tax and everything. So we go through all of that, and we kind of give them a little bit of a tough love. So a placement is like, okay, this is the real world. And we talk to them a lot about in their exercise about what time of day, because if you cannot get up for whatever reason for like 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning, then when I ask about, because employers want to know, like, don't tell me that you can be here for 8 o'clock if you can never really get out of bed until like 10. So it's showing them realistic expectations that they have, because we want them to succeed and we want to be a good match for the employers. So if they prefer working in the afternoon, and it's kind of like a tough love of you have to call in, you have to do this, and you can't just get away with, I don't feel like it today, and everything be good. Like there's consequences with the employers, and having this placement gives them that boundary of, okay, like, because it's okay if they don't like the placement for certain reasons, we can find them something else. And it just teaches them how to get along with an employer and everything, which is great. And then working with some of the different employers and everything, it offers the networking. So a lot of the children, individuals, young adults, they do a lot of the networking, and they don't even really realize it because of social media. If you're on Facebook, or if you're looking at, if you go through the marketplace, or if you're on any kind of like group chats or certain things like events, you can find out different things, and you can find out about employers. And, if you're going on Indeed and learning we can show you how to do the different job searches on, the city, the chamber, Indeed, ours. And we can show you that. And when people do that, they don't even realize that they are networking on their own. And then placements and everything gives you to have a reference, because employers look for references. So if you don't really have a job or anything, it's pretty hard unless you have personal references that can show for like a character, which is good in the beginning. So these are the kind of things that we do in our placement. So the timeline is 4 placements. We do set up one-on-ones with everyone based on their exercise. And at the end of the week, we do an entering the workforce. And then in the 3 weeks, and once we do the one-on-one with them, we have some time to go out and start searching. So if someone says, oh, I really like working, being with pets. One of the things is that we can go to the different pet stores to see if people would like to partner with us to see if they want to do placements. But even you can look at this for if you're dealing with just individuals that aren't on work placements or anything, that if they're just talking about it, find out what their interests are. Because if you find out what their interests are, then, it can help saying like, well, what about this? Or if someone is really into video games and like music and that, like, there's the game shelf, there's a whole bunch of different little stores that you can say, well, you know what, how about this? Because again, I don't even know all of the employment services and the stores that are out there until I start researching myself. And so that's what you want to try to get them to do. And then I contact employers, and then I try to set up a meet and greet. So a meet and greet is just, I bring the client get them to meet us at the employers. It's not as formal as an actual interview. Sometimes it can be. Sometimes the employer really actually does want to get them an interview. So we do tell them to, if they're going for an interview, try to Google and find out something about the company that really works well with the employers. If they can come in and say, because one of the employer's first questions is usually, why do you want to work here? Do you know anything about our placement, our place of work? And if you can tell them that, then that shows an interest. And that's really good about trying to find something out. Because, if you're just trying to, oh, I'm just going to apply here and you have no idea. Again, you want to try to meet and try to find out the background of some of the businesses so that it can kind of meet their own values and skills that they have. So once we do the meet and greet, if everything goes well and they say, yeah, we'll try it, then I do up a contract, and we can do it for up to 12 weeks. And we do pay the full $15 for minimum wage. If they want to pay more, then that's up to them, but we pay up to minimum wage for the whole time of the placement. And then the best thing about it is during the placement, I always say, if you're finding something and you don't like it, leaving the place, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're finding that you don't like the job, that's okay, because this is what it's all about, is trying to find what you want, try to find what you like to do, and then talk to us and we can try to find a better job match. It's how you do it. So we do try to tell everyone, again, don't just ghost people. Like, you have to communicate with the employer saying, like, thank you, but this isn't just for me. And the same goes for the employers. There's no obligation, like even after the placement, they don't have to keep the client. And even during the placement, if the employer is just saying, like, they're just not really working out, we can terminate the placement anytime. And that's what's good about a placement, is because it gives them that almost like that probationary time. Whereas in the real world, like anywhere else, it's a little bit harder, but everybody has that probationary period where the employer can say it's just not working out before that 3 months. And the same with the client or the individual, that at least if they have a way of, I can't just not show up, because you'll never get a reference if you just keep doing that with different jobs. So it's trying to instill in them and teach them how to exit a job, because you can be great at your job for years, but how you exit a job is almost more important than even your whole time frame with the person. So values, they can be a little tricky. A value is the degree of importance something, somewhere, or someone holds in your life. A value is a principle of our life, and it's unique to us. So they guide our beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors. As an employer, having a clear set of value helps employees understand what you and your business stand for. As an employee, having a clear set of values helps identify employers that have similar values to you. So again, it's all about kind of like doing that whole job matching. So employees are successful when their employers' values align with their own. And this is very important. So like an artist who loves art but quits their job in the art field for a more traditional job because they do not make enough money to support the family. So in a sense, their values are, they need money more than what their passion is. And that's okay, as long as you know that. And as long as you get a job saying like, okay, let's just give you some good wage and we can go from there. And then a second scenario is, a corporate person that's making all the money, but is finding that they have no life balance. So they leave to do something smaller because their value now is to do more with the community and be able to be at home more. It's not necessarily money driven. So finding the values and finding a place for them to work is very important. So we always kind of tell them about, so here are some personal values to consider. So achievement, advancement, adventure, affiliation, aesthetics, autonomy, creativity, expertise, family fun, growth, integrity, leadership, social change, money, passion, recognition, security, and structure. So some people don't really understand what it is until they kind of see it. So when they can say like, okay, so I like achievement, I like recognition, I like on a pat on the back. So sometimes that, like, I'm like that. So money's never been a big, like, I don't need 6 figures, 7 figures or anything. I like getting a pat on the back saying job well done. So that's kind of like, you know, I like to work with people that recognize that and will offer recognition and stuff to their staff. Other people, they want to work by themselves, and that's okay. We find that a lot of the youth, a lot of young adults nowadays, they're not confident in themselves, and they don't have a lot of self-assurance. So working with people and doing some customer service tends to scare them. So a lot of them want to start out being in the background, like in a warehouse or stocking shelves with minimal interaction with other people, which is okay. But sometimes, you know, you have to kind of say, okay, let's do that for a first little while until you can get a little bit more confident, because not every job can do that. There's still plenty of jobs that need front end people that need to deal with customers. And then they find that it's not, as they get close, like more comfortable in the job position, then it works itself out and they can get more comfortable with working with people. And then when that happens, throughout their lives, their values can change. So those are personal. Some professional values are like making money, the changing environment. If you just, you know, if there's nothing in this city, like maybe you might have to work somewhere else. So if you're willing to travel and willing to find a company that will pay you to come, like a lot of people like to do the like Outland or work with mines, so that they're 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out. It works perfectly for them. Belonging to an organization or a group, working with deadlines. A lot of people like to work under pressure. They work best under pressure. So these are some of the professional values to consider. Again, I like the whole helping others, receiving the recognition in that. Like, again, money's not the biggest thing, and climbing the big ladder is not my, but for some people, they want to get to the top, and that's totally okay. And it's just aligning what you want with the type of people that can get you there. And you may have to just start at the bottom with something else just to get some experience before you can start going on and moving on to the different employment options that can get you to the top level. Reflection. So we often ask people, like, to think about it. Like, if you have had jobs and you've quit, like, why? So if you really reflect, and they will actually often come to realize that it is because it is with the values. So sometimes it's, you know, if you're working in a kitchen and they didn't know, and they're a dishwasher, kitchens can be very loud. There's a lot of cursing, there's a lot of like commotion and everything. And if it doesn't meet with their own values of like, oh, like everybody's yelling at each other, then that's okay. Like, because some people just go like, I don't know why I quit, I just don't like it there. There's always a reason why you don't like it there. And once you can define that, then it helps you when you're looking at other people, other places to work, to see. And that's why the research of trying to find out more about the company, so you can kind of see what their mission statement is and their values are, and to try to align it with yourself. So we ask them, if you have been in an environment where your values weren't met, and how did it feel? And on the flip side, have you been in a job where your values have been met? And it, you know, usually makes people feel a lot better about the places. And so it's always, a reflection is good, because when people will go through so many jobs in their lifetimes, if they're lucky, they can find a good niche and stick with it. That's kind of a rarity that people will do it. And Again, if people are in jobs where they may not totally have the passion and like it, but their goal is, I make great money, I can provide for my family, we can have this sort of lifestyle, they're willing to do it, and because they're getting something out of it. So then we talk to people about skills, and this is very important for people to understand, because again, they don't realize what they have to offer to people until it's pointed out. So we usually talk about 3 different types of skills, so hard skills, soft skills, and transferable. Transferable skills, as you know, as employers and working in the industry, they can work both with hard skills and soft skills. So the hard skills are specific talents or abilities that can be measured. They're important because they increase the employee productivity and efficiency. And these are what employers are asking for in a job listing. So I mean, a diploma in accounting. So if you don't have any kind of accounting experience, if you're looking at job ads and everything, and someone wants like a bookkeeper, if you're not good with math, you might not want to, apply for that because your skills, you don't have that kind of skill. Anything hard like computer work, math, like any kind of diplomas, those are all kind of like typing skills, anything that you can measure. So if you can work or you can type like over 100 words a minute, that's great. Soft skills are like known more as kind of core skills, and they are usually always transferable. They're important because they are the essential skills that improve ability to work with others and create a positive work environment. So these are usually what secure you a job after an interview. So it's kind of behaviors, good communication, like body language, how you can get along with people. And then the transferable skills, they can be used for both. Critical thinking or computer skills is something that you can take with you. So if you're a great communicator, it's transferable because whatever job that you're having, if you're a great communicator, you can bring that with you. Typing skills, no matter where you go, being able to be thoroughly adverse in computer skills or typing, you can take that anywhere you go. And then what we do is we have a list of things that, what are the skills? So it's kind of like a good guessing game, a good game that we play with our clients to see if they can understand like what it is. So like, like having machine operation, that would be a hard skill. Language proficiency, that's a soft skill. And if they're not quite sure, then we could talk it through so they could have more of an understanding of what each and everything is. And then when you can have that, so we try to say, like, if they're building a resume, it's like hardworking. You can live, if they do all this snow shoveling for everyone, they don't mind outside work. All these things are like, you're strong. You have, you're a self-starter, because I mean, if you just go out and you just go to knock on people's doors and say, hey, do you want me to shovel your driveway for $10, whatever, then that's like self-efficient, like that's a skill. And people don't realize that until we point it out to them, so they can put it on a resume in some sort. And then goals, they're your aims and desired results. So short-term goals are something that you want to accomplish in the near future. So like a week, a month, or 6 months. Long-term goals are sort of like an end result. So you always have to have short-term goals to get to your long-term goals. You can't just, it's a big thing of, if anybody's ever read The Secret or whatever, manifesting, which is great, but you can't get to the end goal without going the distance. And it's being able to commit and get those goals, the small goals to lead up that make you, accomplish everything. So the most effective type of goal is a SMART goal. So we talk about having specific things. So if you want something, what are the steps that you can do to get to it, that you can do right now, the next week, next month, if they can be measurable, and if they're achievable, if they're realistic, and give you a time frame. Those are all very important things, because like, you don't want to be Like I want to be, you know, a neurologist, but I want to do it like I'm 20 and I want to do it by the time I'm 25. That's not realistic. You have to go through all the steps and see what you have to do, school, medical school, et cetera, et cetera. So again, we just kind of have this whole thing where people can keep, and they can do it on their own, where they can write out their own little goals and everything. So this is where we kind of have the exercise. And if you want, I can actually send it to you by email, that if anybody is looking for it, they can use it. It's not just for us. If we can help with people wanting to show it to their own clients or people that they know, I can get that for you. And so we just spend an hour asking questions and everything doing this. And then we spend about half an hour, 40 minutes going through the exercise with them. And we can do that with anybody, or you can do that with your youth and clients and adults. So then these are just like the resources and supports that we have, or you can go to get some more information. And then this is just our information. So that's about it. So did you have any questions? No? Okay, well, if anybody does have any questions, you can go to our website, or you can call us, and I can make my personal information, send it to Kylie so that she can give it to you. So if you do have any kind of one-on-one questions, you can just call me direct, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that anyone might have. And yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Tracy, for the wonderful presentation. If anybody would like a copy of the recording, or weren't able to attend this or future ones, feel free to send us an email at communications@paro.ca, and we will send you a link to the recording. And like Tracy said, she'll send me her info and I can pass it along.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tracy.
You're very welcome.
Great presentation.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm hoping that it gave you a little bit of what you were looking for. If there's anything else that you need a little bit more information for that wasn't in this presentation, again, please give me a call, email me, and I can try to help as much as I can.
Great. Thank